Bam. Bam. My peoples. My peoples. Welcome to another episode of Boxing for Breakfast, where you get your healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning. You guys know what we doing, man. We talking boxing. But let me just say, man, it don't matter if it's hot, cold, raining, snowing, sunny. If you up right now, God gave you another day, my peoples. Thank you, God. Yes, sir. We on it. Kick this thing off by saying salute to those already who been in the building, Toy Mafia, Outburger, them before. My peoples. We're going to start off the show with another update with regards to the Floyd Money Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao rematch saga. It's a saga at this point. Is this fight going to happen? Is Floyd Mayweather going to fight Manny Pacquiao? We got a major misunderstanding, my peoples. Major. So, let me give you the recap. The letter M. Bam. Let me give you the recap, my peoples. The first thing that was reported is that Money May and Pac-Man was going to fight in a real fight. We were so flabbergasted, bewildered, perturbed. Floyd Mayweather going to put that all on the line? We couldn't believe it. And then we started seeing that, yes, the fight is really happening. You know, 49-year-old Floyd versus 47-year-old Manny. They're going to face off and put their record on the line. Both of them. Then, Floyd Mayweather goes on camera and says, it's going to be an exhibition fight and we both win. Now that goes viral. Everybody's talking about an exhibition fight. Huh? We've been arguing and going crazy and having all these emotions about this real fight that was supposedly going to happen. And all of a sudden, nope, it's an exhibition fight. That's what Floyd tells us. But right after, the very day, Manny Pacquiao team counters. No. We didn't agree to an exhibition. We agreed to a real fight. This a fight. So social media is going back and forth about it like, whoa, is it a real fight? Is it an exhibition? What is really going to happen over here? Okay. Now, Manny Pacquiao team says that Floyd signed 3 separate contracts agreeing to a fight venue, a fight date, and that it was a real fight. And that he took an advance on that money, on what his purse was going to be. He took an advance on that. So how does this play out? Now, those are reports. We don't know that to be a fact. We don't know if Floyd really signed those contracts. We don't know if he really took an advancement. But if those reports are accurate, only 1 or 2 things, my people, is going to happen. Number 1, we're going to see Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao fighting for real in the ring. Or number 2, we're going to see them fighting in court. Because that money that they paid up, then there's really going to be breach of contract if it was supposed to be a real fight. Or there's a third option. Floyd is just going to have to return the money if he did take an advance. The lunatic librarian. Floyd Mayweather is another sad story of boxing. Al Heyman was really his daddy for real. Was 50 Cent correct in saying Mayweather can't read his contracts? I mean, contracts are really elaborate documents, or can be in many cases. When you're talking about $1 million deals, you're talking about a lot of paperwork, a lot of pages. a lot of fine print. So, Floyd Mayweather, not just Floyd Mayweather, anybody would have to hire a lawyer to actually comb through it and make sure that they're getting what they want. But in the case of Floyd and Al Heyman, the problem, what it seems like it wasn't the contract. The problem was that apparently Showtime or Espinoza was sending money that should have went to Floyd into Al Heyman accounts. So basically, Al Heyman was getting them, while Floyd Mayweather was saying that he was doing robbery, legal robbery. Al Heyman was doing him in. The letter M, Mayweather hit his O after showing a sneak peek at it. Damn, bro. Look, it's like I told you guys. We're either going to get a fight in the ring from Floyd and Pacquiao, or we're going to get a fight in a courtroom. Something is going to give. Something's got to give. Because at this point, we have both camps saying a different version of what's supposed to happen. Think about it. Floyd is telling us. And there's two discrepancies that are major. Number one, Floyd Mayweather said, we don't have a venue yet. It's been said that it was the Bowl in Vegas, the Sphere, but we don't know yet. And what Manny Pacquiao team is saying is that the date and the venue were already agreed to. It's under contract. So how does this really play out? Are they even going to fight? Ronaldo, my peoples, salute family, bam. Are they even going to fight right now, honestly? We don't know. We do not know if there's going to be a Floyd Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao. We had already been making predictions. We had already been saying, this is going to be crazy at their age. They're going to be, we were excited about it already. The letter M. Will something like this break the connect, null and void, break the contract, null and void, and they would have to restart negotiations? Mayweather be playing games. So that depends, because what is being reported, I don't know this to be a fact, right? But what is being reported is that Floyd Mayweather signed 3 separate contracts agreeing to a real fight, agreeing to the venue, and the date. And reportedly, right, he took an advance on what his purse would be. So now we're talking about he took money already. If that's the case, then he would be in breach of contract if he refuses to fight in a professional fight. If that's the case, because we don't know that. That's just what's being reported. But obviously, both teams have a different version of what's supposed to happen. You have to understand, the part about Floyd Mayweather saying that it's an exhibition, that's not being alleged, right? That's not something that somebody said they heard. That's not a what had happened was type of situation. Floyd said it out of his own mouth. It's going to be an exhibition. And we both win. And now Pacquiao's team is like, exhibition? We got contracts for a real fight. They air venue. How does this play out then? Because I'm telling you, if Manny Pacquiao's team is going to stand their ground on we got a real fight, we got a contract, and all of that, then they're either going to fight in the ring for real or they're going to fight in court. Something's going to happen. The letter M. Oh no, Marie, salute. Bam. I don't know, my peoples. Let's see. We were already excited about this one. We were making predictions. I am Broly. Salute, family. A lot of people, most people thought Floyd was going to win the rematch. I said it was going to be an interesting showdown. I am Broly. I look forward to your streams, bro. Salute, family. I appreciate it, my brother. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You early. Look, we close to 3,000. We're at 2,800. You're early. You're early part of the Box Center family, bro. We're gonna get to 10,000. That's the next benchmark, and then 100,000. And we headed for number one, baby. Yes, sir. But this whole situation, we don't know how it's gonna play out. Right now, we do not know if Floyd Money Mayweather and Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao are gonna share the ring. You can forget about all the predictions we was making and all these scenarios that we was painting out. We don't know if it's happening. But it's crazy the way that this story is playing out with Manny Pacquiao's team alleging that Floyd Mayweather already took an advance on that purse and that they got a real fight, date, and venue, and they ready to go. Something's going to give. This story is going to develop one way or another. I am Broly. Well, Floyd is scared to lose. Whoa. I mean, he beat Manny Pacquiao already. Is he scared to lose to somebody that he already beat? The letter M. They got to sign with Box Center Promotions. Make it happen, Jay. That's it. Sign with me. Sign with my label. But ultimately, if this fight happens, we'll all be tuning in. We just don't know. That's the reality, my peoples. We don't know if it's going to happen. Let's see how the whole situation plays out. It is being said that Floyd is in breach of contract and everything. I don't know. I don't know. My peoples, let me segue into this one real quick for y'all, man. Caroline Dubois is going to fight. And I want to tell you guys that right now, she is one of my favorite female fighters. If you have not seen her fight, check her out, my peoples. The letter M, I think Pac-Man signed and didn't read the fine print. The letter M is that it's not Pac-Man talking. This is lawyers, his promotional company. You know, what you're saying would have made sense, but at that level where it's the promotional company talking for you, nah, bro. They talking about we got 3 separate contracts where he's agreeing to a professional fight. We're going to find out. If it's the case, like you said, it's the fine print, then ultimately Floyd is going to end up beating him in court. If you're right. Al Booger, does Caroline stop Harper? I don't know that she's going to stop her. I don't know that she's going to stop her. Harper's a tough opponent. Claymore Rain, bam, salute, family. Harper's a tough opponent. But I got to tell you, right now, Caroline Dubois is one of my favorite female fighters. And I got to tell you, I believe that she's in a collision course with Alycia Baumgartner, who is also going to be in action soon. The letter M, because why 3 separate contracts for one fight? That sounds funny money to me. Claymore Rain, Floyd took money. He cooked. Whoa, Greg Hackett. Greg Hackett TV, my people's in the building. First of all, yo, Greg, man, I'm mad happy that you got your channel back. That's fire, bro. Salute to you, family. You out the feds. You out of there. Oh, they had you in the hole for a minute, but they couldn't keep you down. My people's Greg Hackett TV. I know some of you thought the channel had been blocked because of some hater, but Greg Hackett is back. Yes, sir. I am Broly. It takes several contracts sometimes. Different reasons. I mean, of course, you can't, the stuff about how many contracts, we don't really know because it could be a separate contract to say, look, this contract is because we're giving you some money up front, for example. But that is what Manny Pacquiao's team is alleging at this point, that they gave Floyd paper up front and that the contract is for a real fight. So, I'm telling you right now, if Manny Pacquiao's team is not capped, they're either gonna fight for real or they're gonna fight in court. We got a fight on our hands one way or another at this point. I'm telling you, they're gonna fight in the ring or in court. Because based on what they're saying, it looks to me like Manny Pacquiao's team is going to stand their ground on this a real fight. We supposed to be fighting for real. We ain't got no exhibition going on. You got to remember, when Floyd posted, or when he said, because it was like an interview or something like that, when he said, hey, it's an exhibition. We both going to win. Those were his words. It's an exhibition. We both going to win. Manny Pacquiao team responded almost immediately. Immediately, like, nah, we didn't agree to no exhibition. This is a real fight. And they saw social media going back and forth about whether or not it was supposed to be that. And then Manny's team went harder. Boom, they dropped that info. That now, listen, we got signed contracts about the date, about the venue, and it is a real fight. So if what they're saying is true, that will put Floyd Mayweather in breach of contract if he refuses to fight in a professional fight. I am Brody. Who would win if it's a real fight? Honestly, I see Floyd Mayweather winning in similar fashion. But of course, he's risking that. Oh, if they fight for real, he's risking it. Clay Moraine, Floyd looking thirsty out here. Why he booked 3 fights inside of a month and change of each other? And he taking deposits. Diabolical. I'm saying, somebody told me the other day, like, bro, Floyd is more active than some active fighters. Because he got Mike Tyson, he got Pac-Man, he got the kickboxing guy. All 3 scheduled. I am Brody. I have it for Pacquiao. He took the loss of heart and replayed the loss in his mind for like 15 years. Man, listen, that loss has been sizzling in Manny Pacquiao's spirit for the longest. So, and he said it himself. He specifically said, I want to be the guy to give Floyd Mayweather his L. I want to give him that. Because Manny knows the thing about him and Floyd, when we talk about greatness, is that Floyd beat him in a head-to-head matchup and Floyd is undefeated. So how does he get one up on Floyd? By beating him. He got to beat him. The letter M, I said Floyd wins. He never stopped training camps. Facts. I'm telling you, I see it playing out the same way. That's my take. Simply because you never seen out of shape Floyd Mayweather. Show me a picture of a fat Floyd Mayweather. Show me one video. Nah, Floyd Mayweather, even though he's 49 years old, he's always been in great shape. And Manny Pacquiao's 47. They're about the same age. The letter M, Pacquiao will be the guy that gets beat up again. Whoa, Floyd Mayweather's gonna beat him up? Hold on. Because right now, we don't really even know if this fight is gonna happen. That's the truth, family. We don't even know if this fight is gonna happen. I am Brody. Manny never stopped training camps too. He's right all day. I mean, no, look, they're both in great shape. But that's why I'm saying the fight plays out just like the first one. Why would it play out any different? I am Brody. Manny never stopped training camps. E. Bell. Cruz rock Floyd jaw. Floyd still undefeated, fam. Still undefeated. Still retired 50-0. Greg Hackett. Floyd was out of shape in that sparring session with Paul Spadafora. And look, that's a sparring session. Because that's another thing. And you can attest to that yourself, Greg. That's another thing. It's a sparring session. We working on shit. It's not a real fight. Things happen. The letter M, Floyd would have cooked him. The letter M, yo, Jay. And I saw what you've been saying. He promoted liquor and never took not one sip. I try to tell people. Floyd Mayweather, oh yeah, they cut him a check. He does the video, ooh, showing the bottle and shit. You would never see Floyd taking a drink. You would never see him drinking. You would never see him smoking. He might promote the product. Ooh, you don't see him using that shit. I am Brody. If a dude studied my style for years and years, I would definitely not want to give him a rematch. I mean, the thing is that if I'm better than you, you can study my style all you want. I'm simply better than you. I'm going to be better than you no matter how much you study my style. That's the thing right there. If Floyd Mayweather is able to impose his style on Manny Pacquiao, we get the same type of fight. Same type of fight. Demon Ford, just open a GoFundMe for both Floyd and Pac-Man. Greg Hackett TV, I'm just saying he human. My bad. I mean, he is. We all are. We all are. And here's the thing about social media. If you think about it, if you go on Instagram, everybody's rich, everybody's balling out of control, everybody got everything, everybody's on vacation, that's on social media, right? So social media has built it to where you're either balling out of control or you're broke. If you're an average Joe, you broke. Nah, your ass is broke. Y'all know it's true. Everybody a goddamn millionaire on social media. Well, I'm broke. I'm telling you right now, I'm broke. Because I got a regular car. I don't got $2,000 shoes, $1,000 belts. I don't got none of that shit. I'm broke. So social media has made it to where everybody's balling, right? And we don't realize that even people with money at times, with mad money, go through struggle. And I'll give you an example. Al Pacino put it out there. Al Pacino, bro. Tony Montana, the guy. This dude had $50 million. And he blew that fortune. And he was broke. And literally had to take on a few quick roles. Bam, 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 to make, that's the thing. You can make millions of dollars at that level. But he literally went broke. And had to even do movies that he didn't want to do to make some millions of dollars. Fill up that bank account. And who would think, damn, Al Pacino broke right now? Nobody would think it. So even people who got money, you would never expect it, go through struggles. And shit be happening. But everybody hides it. Like I told you, you go on Instagram, everybody a millionaire, everybody balling, everybody, is in a supercar and a mansion and I don't know what else. Marie, I'm broke too. But brother, we ain't broke. We have our shelter, clothing, food. We got everything we want. But these days, they call you broke because you don't have a mansion or change your expensive shit. Marie, but if you look at ourselves, we got everything. I mean, we good, but it's what I'm trying to tell you, the perception that's been made up by social media. You see people taking a picture in front of a white wall with a $2,000 phone and they sleeping in a goddamn air mattress on the floor. But on social media, they balling out of control. The letter M. Some of the brokers show off the most. That's facts. That's facts. That's the reality. But ultimately, these guys got money. I'm saying they both got money. And they can go both they can both go from being low to having millions just like that. They fight each other, boom. 100 mils. Just like that. But it's like I told y'all, if Floyd Mayweather is saying it's an exhibition fight and Manny Pacquiao is saying, no, this is a real fight, we got contracts, then we have an issue. We don't know how it's going to play out. We definitely have an issue, though. We shall see. The letter M, they're broke. It's not our broke. That's facts. It's a different type of broke. Because some people's broke out there is like, damn, man, I'm not going to be able to get the Bugatti, but fuck it, I'll get the Ferrari, though. Damn. Stuck with a bullshit-ass Ferrari. You know, that's their broke. Them afford. Ultimately, wealth, health is wealth, gentlemen. That's a fact. That is a fact, because your health can go downhill to a point where no amount of money can help you. No amount of money is going to help you. And you would trade in all your money just for your health, to get your health back. The letter M. Poor Mayweather. He can have a dozen hoes. Only half a dozen now. See, that's it. You just got to cut down. Cut down. I am Brody. Jay, how would you beat Floyd? Honestly, I put a clause in the contract. I'm going to tell you how I beat Floyd. This is the clause that I'm putting in that contract. So Floyd Mayweather, for the fight, he got to wear 2 left gloves, 1 boxing shoe, and 1 roller skate. He got to be in a unicycle while juggling a coconut, a baseball bat, and a bowling ball, while wearing a shower cap and blindfolded. I'll whoop his ass. Beat him up. Beat him up. There you have it right there. That's how I'm whooping him. Mr. Fifth, salute, family. Bam. Damn it, 4. I beat Floyd with Fundora reach. Damn. I am Broly. What if there's no clause? Nah, if there's no clause, then Floyd Mayweather gonna beat me up. There is nothing I could do. I'm getting beat up. Mr. Phipps, you still might lose. I mean, I think I went by split decision. If you put Floyd wearing 1 roller skate, riding a unicycle, blindfolded, holding a lefty golf club, I think I get him by split decision at least. The letter M, simple. You can't beat Floyd. I think only Crawford had a real chance ever in life. And they different generations. If they would have been in the same generation, I think Terrence Crawford could have beat Floyd Mayweather. But maybe that fight never happened. Maybe that's one of those that gets away from us. Because if they would have been in the well, I tell you what, if Terrence Crawford would have fought back then, I can see him getting all those big fights. Because you guys have to remember, that wasn't the protect the O era. That was the everybody fighting everybody era. So if Crawford fought back then, him and Floyd would end up facing each other. Just like Floyd and Diego Chico Corrales. Obviously, I'm not saying it's the same outcome, but Bud would have ended up in the ring with Floyd back then. Double AD. Terrence Crawford, I think, beats Floyd. Yeah, I think he beat him. I think he could have beat him. They let him a golf club. You gotta hold that golf club right there, family. And sit your ass on that unicycle. Mr. Phipps, I would have loved to see Floyd and Sweet Pea. Ooh, man, that would have been a real technical showdown. Whew, that's a good fight, man. That's a good fight. I am Broly. What about pure pressure fighter with power? Would a boxer like that give Floyd problems? Nah. Not in his prime. The thing is, Floyd was too good of a counterpuncher. Because of that, when you apply pressure, you just got punched on. With Floyd in his prime, lumping you up. Double AD, good morning, brother. Give these people the knowledge they need for breakfast. Where the lights at? I don't know, man. You know, some people want to be ghost watching and snake hating. Come on, man. Double tap that screen, my peoples. Mr. KO, I was just having this conversation with a few others earlier. I think Bud would have forced Floyd out the shell in most situations and split through Floyd's high guard with those combinations. If he has Floyd on the ropes. Floyd beats Sweepy. Look, man, I see the skill set that Terrence Crawford has, and I see how it gives Floyd problems. You have to remember, Zab Judah was putting hands on Floyd, and Sugar Shane Mosley was also putting hands on Floyd. They just ran out of gas. Their punch output started to go down, and Floyd Mayweather's conditioning is otherworldly. And he started to pick them apart and have his way. So what started as very competitive fights ultimately turned into the Floyd show. But it was about conditioning. It wasn't about him being way better than these guys. Mr. Phipps, Shane almost dropped him. And Zab Judah, in reality, should have had a knockdown. The only person to drop Floyd Mayweather was Zab Super Judah, my peoples. Floyd put his hand on the floor. But the referee didn't see it, ruled it a slip, and the rest was history. I mean, even if it would have been ruled a knockdown, the results would have been the same. But how good is Zab Judah to be the only guy to score a knockdown Floyd Mayweather in his 50-fight career? One guy. Bang! Caught him. Slap it. Aroma sound. Better conditioning counts as being better too, the way I see it. I mean, that's part of it. But, look, better conditioning is not necessarily better. And I'm going to tell you what I mean by that. Imagine I'm at a higher level than you by a landslide. I'm picking you apart. But I run out of gas. Let's say we still at a level where we're fighting 4-rounders. So I'm picking you apart for 3 rounds. Easy work. But then my conditioning is cooked. So round number 4, I got nothing in the tank. You come out and you catch me with a haymaker, knock me out. You won the fight, but everybody watching is going to know that I'm better than you. And I just don't have the right conditioning. It's just like the discipline. A disciplined fighter can beat a more skilled fighter. Exhibit A, Marcus Maidana versus Adrian Broner. I don't think anybody in here would say that Maidana was more skilled than Adrian Broner. If we look at skill for skill, nah. He was more disciplined. He was a guy who was more hungry. He was somebody who was not going to stop punching no matter what. Now you think about it. Marcus Maidana showed up to that fight as the best version of himself, to give it everything he got. Adrian Broner showed up, been drinking, been smoking, been zipping lean, messing with hoes, partying, doing all type of shit. Showing up. Look, Broner showed up in a way to fight Maidana like Mike Tyson showed up to fight Buster Douglas. Cooked. Yeah, he had his training camp. He prepared for the fight. But his personal life was in shambles. He was out of order. And that's what happened. Discipline, that night, discipline beats skills. There you have it. Mr. KO, I also see Buzz showing newfound ways to score on Floyd. But I can't see a unanimous win for Crawford over Floyd. And I have to tell you, think about Sugar Shea Mosley and Zab Judah, how good they were doing against Floyd, right? Before they ran out of gas. And consider the fact that Terence Crawford was not going to run out of gas. You see the type of athlete that he is. You see it. We never seen Terence Crawford running out of gas in a fight. We never seen a Terence Crawford fight where you're like, oh shit, he's out of gas. And like somebody teeing off and he got to survive and everything. That's never happened. Crawford is a level of athlete right there with Floyd Mayweather. He has the same work ethic. Also a gym rat. Also a guy that take care of his body. Also a guy that don't consume alcohol. Don't smoke. He right there with Floyd. So that matchup, it was not going to play out in a way where Terence Crawford is dominating early on or doing good or winning and then runs out of gas and Floyd take over the show. It was not going to play out that way. Nonconformist. I don't know what the hell you're talking about, man. Take a 24-hour break. Come back talking about boxing. You're confused. This is about boxing over here. I am Brody. What record do you think Fundora will retire with? I'm going to be honest with you. Sebastian Fundora is somebody who right now can retire undefeated. He can. I mean, not undefeated. He got 1 L. He can retire without taking another loss in his career. I'm going to tell you why. He said that he don't see himself fighting past his mid-30s. Remember, he's studying at Harvard. Clearly already has a career in mind for after boxing. He's planning ahead. So, if he's going to retire, let's say at 33, 34, he could very well retire undefeated. But, I mean, with just that 1 loss in his resume. But, you have to understand, he got Jerome Boots Ennis in that division. We got Bakram Mortasaliev. He got Xander Zayas. So 154 is on fire right now. Can Sebastian Fundora hold on to those two titles and unify or even become undisputed? We're going to find out soon enough. Wes Dawson, Crawford been a GOAT for 10 years and just now getting credit for it. Salute, my brother. That's 100% facts. Terence Crawford been a GOAT. But people just never wanted to give him credit. The PBC was successful at building a narrative and putting a whole fan base against Terence Crawford. So they all became his haters. Mr. KO, yeah, Wilder going to sleep this weekend. Man, look, Chisora is looking for one last big outing. Hey, look focused, man. Wilder-Chisora look focused. He trying to do Deontay, the Bronze Bomber Wilder in. Mr. Phipps, I think that dude was talking about the painting behind you. I mean, I don't know what the hell he was talking about, but there's not a History Channel. I am Broly. He's talking about the poster you have in the background. He probably doesn't know what boxing is, Jay. I don't know what he's talking about, but he's not going to talk about that shit over here, that's for sure. Kato, I was famous. Mr. KO, 31-1 Fundora, 30-2 if he fight Boots. Ooh, you got Boots? Putting the Swiss, the Dre, and the Apple Beats on Sebastian Fundora? Mr. Phipps, I agree with Mr. KO. I am Brody, facts. Aroma Sound, do you think that Fundora could move up and still dominate, or he's better off staying at 154? I'm going to tell you what. Since Fundora is in his late 20s, I believe that he will have to move up. Remember, from your late 20s to your early 30s, because he is going to fight into his early 30s, maybe his mid-30s, I think that we'll see Fundora at 160. Maybe even 168. It all depends. But I think we definitely see him at 160. I can't see him get to 30, 31 years old and still be able to make 154. The letter M. Can a Mayweather shoulder roll be successful against a fighter like Fundora? So, it's not going to be successful at that from long distance. It's not. The thing about the shoulder roll, right, that makes it successful is that Floyd got this hand right here, right? And when he shoulder rolls, he's able to counter you. He's done it a million times, whether he's coming from down low, whether he's countering you with the straight, even with the left. Boom, boom. It leaves him in position to counter you. You can't counter somebody who has that type of reach advantage on you. That's the thing about Sebastian Fundora. That as long as he keep you at the end of that jab, you can't counter him. You're way outside of your reach. So the shoulder roll, Floyd will be like, but he's not going to be able to return anything. So it wouldn't work. Mr. KO, only fighter that troubled Fundora is Boots. Once Boots out the way, I got Fundora being unbeaten at 154 if he doesn't fight Boots. Realistically, the fight has to be made after Boots versus Zayas. I mean, Sebastian Fundora versus Jerome Boots Ennis, I think that fight is the inevitable. I think it's going to happen. Pugilism. That's Bismarck you got. What I need on the wall. Nah, bro, come on. Wilder-Chisora, baby. Mr. KO. Boots need that Fundora fight. Virgil too busy warming benches and grabbing towels for Oscar. We don't know what's going to happen with Virgil Ortiz. We don't know. We don't know what's next for him. But we do know that Jerome Boots Ennis and Xander Zayas is going down. And I'm going to tell you guys what, man. I see a lot of people who not even really giving Xander a chance. I see a lot of people acting like Xander Zayas is just going to get cooked. Acting like Boots is going to do him in. The Hydra grind. Fundora talking about only facing PBC fighters and not wanting the other belts. Whoa. Not wanting the other belts. Damn. I am Broly. Do you think Inoue stops Rafael Espinoza? I don't know, man. I don't know. That fight could go the distance. That's one of those fights that can go the distance. West does it. Fundora reminds me of when Klitschko's dominated. They started calling them super heavyweights because they had so much size. The letter M. I'm choosing Xander, but only because I'm going to stand with my guy. Ooh, you stand with Puerto Rico. That's one thing about me, bro. When I make a prediction, I don't stand with nobody. I just say who I see winning. I look into the crystal ball. Mr. Phipps, Xander definitely has a chance. Slight, but has a chance. Ronaldo, I got Boots. Losing, Jay. Whoa. You got Boots losing? Is he going to sleep? Or does the fight go the distance and Xander Zayas beat him on the cards? The Hydra grind. He said he stays with the WBC. And if he gets the other ones, he would vacate them immediately. Not interested in unifying at all. He don't want to give up that sanctioning fee money that maybe the WBC's already taken enough of that. He don't want to give money to everybody. But he could still fight Jerome Boots Ennis and then vacate. Unify. And then vacate. Ronaldo, only because Boots is more now. But this will be a fight. It'll be a big fight. However, we're matching up Jerome Boots Ennis with Sebastian Fundora. He got Xander Zayas to deal with. Xander Zayas, my peoples, is for real. I've been telling y'all this. So, they both popping each other's cherry in a big fight. People been saying, oh, Boots ain't fight nobody. Who Jerome Boots Ennis beat? He ain't beat nobody. Well, in reality, when people say that they hate on Boots, or they don't know shit about boxing, Boots got a good resume. And he's a he's a unified champion in the welterweight division. So he's already building a good resume. But now, he gets Xander Zayas, which you know what the haters are going to say, right? If he wins, the haters are going to say, yeah, but Xander, he's only 23, he was too young, and he's a hype job. He ain't done nothing anyways. But they'll do the same thing to Xander Zayas if he was to pull off the monster upset. Oh, yeah, but Boots ain't really beat nobody. He just got exposed. He was a hype job. That's what social media does. But ultimately, we got two elite-level fighters, a unified reigning champion in Xander Zayas, a unified welterweight champion who recently moved up to 154 in Jerome Boots Ennis, facing each other, both undefeated. Come on, my peoples. We have two of the elites facing each other. And that's why I told you before, you got to give flowers to Xander. Because Boots is not a mandatory. He don't have to fight him. If he wanted to, he could get himself a nice little cherry pick. He could do some voluntary defenses. But no. Instead, He saw Boots and Virgil's fight fall apart and jumped in right away. Yeah, let me get that. Virgil ducking, Virgil shook, Virgil scared to death. I'll take that. I'll take that fight. You gotta give Xander Zayas his respect. How many people want to jump in the line of fire versus Jerome Boots Ennis? I'll remind you, they try to mention, Jerome Boots Ennis to Josh Kelly, and he was like, no, I'm not really interested. I got other things that I want to do. Don't want that smoke. Well, Xander Zayas didn't need any convincing. He asked for this fight. He want this fight. So, come on now. You got to give the young lion his respect. And at only 23 years old, you want Boots? You want Jerome Boots Ennis? When people's out there talking about he'll knock you out, there's folks saying that Boots going to knock him out. Come on now. Some of you guys got Boots slaving him. Mr. KO, this fight will shape Zayas into a real one. I don't see him losing after this one. I'm with Boots. The letter M. I'm blaming Bob Arum if Zayas loses. Mr. KO, Xander takes chances. That Virgil duck. I don't care if he win or lose. I like Zayas. I mean, you got to respect him. You got to respect him. At 23 years old, you taking on Boots? Mr. Phipps, he is taking advantage of an opportunity. Pugilism. It's a good fight. Can't wait. The hydro grind. Xander did a face-off in the fight with Fundora. He was on Kelly's back to get the third belt. Wanted Virgil. And now going with Boots. He want that smoke. Bro, Xander Zayas been trying to get that action with all of them. With all of them. And Boots is now the one to say, let's get it. Why? Because we have two fighters here that they both have that throwback mentality. They trying to fight everybody. And I'm going to tell you why it's a good time for Xander Zayas to fight Boots. I'm going to tell you why. It's a good time. I want you to take this into consideration. At 23 years old, if Zayas loses, he could go to 160 and pursue a title right away. And if he wins, he's already a 2-division champion now at only 23 years old. He could go on a crazy run. Just like Canelo lost at 23 years old to Floyd and went on a Hall of Fame run, Zayas can do the same thing. So at this age, this fight is great for him. He's daring to be great. If he wins, stocks will skyrocket. He becomes probably a superstar overnight. If he's the first guy to dish a loss to Jerome Boots Ennis. Crazy. Social media would collapse under this win. That's how it plays out. Nobody is expecting him to win. I'm looking around on social media. I see what the different people are saying. They got Xander Zayas getting beat up. Look what Timothy Bradley said. That Boots gonna beat him up. Beat him up. Mr. KO, this fight being made so quick says a lot about those other fights that took so long due to false contracts, weight drain issues, etc. A lot of our favorite fighters should take notes and learn. I agree with you 100%, family. But you have to understand, Xander Zayas pushed for that fight. He said, I want it. Boots said, I want it. And it was a done deal, just like that. Just like that. This thing was reported. I want you to consider this. The whole situation collapsed between Virgil and Boots. The lawsuit and all that stuff. We saw them go to court. We saw the court rule in favor of Oscar De La Hoya. We see Virgil Ortiz, say that he's done with Golden Boy, all of that stuff. And as soon as it was reported that Xander Zayas and Jerome Boost Ennis were going back and forth, they posted on social media. A few days later, it's officially announced. That's how all fights should get made. It shouldn't take forever for us to agree to get it done. Make it happen. I am Broly. Lineal is from beating the best in the division at the time, which the ring considered Stanionis. Mr. KO, realistically, started at 147, never cleared out any division yet. So I'm going to say this, and this is what we have to consider. Right now, both of these guys are considered amongst the best in boxing. Whether you like them or not, whether you place them high or low, Boost is considered one of the best in the game. The welterweight division, even though he didn't have the opportunity to become undisputed, it was his. That's it. Boost ran the welterweight division. And now at 154, even though Sebastian Fundora is the guy, but Xander Zayas is high on that list. Come on now. You got to understand, this is a unified champion. Cy J. Smith, do you think Boost could have a better career than Bud? Could he? That's a great question. It's possible, but he would have to accomplish similar feats. It's possible, but he got a long way to go. You have to understand. We're talking about becoming 3 times undisputed. You got to at least catch up to him if we're going to say you're better, right? So for him to become 3 times undisputed, he didn't become undisputed in the first division that he fought. He has to accomplish it here. He has to do it at 160 and at 168. If he can do that, then we'd be talking about it. Is it possible? It's possible. I can't tell you that it's not. But it's tough. It's tough. To be honest, we might not see in our lifetime another fighter do it if Naoya Inoue doesn't do it. Naoya Inoue has already been undisputed in 2 divisions. So let's see if he goes after it in a 3rd. It's not an easy task. Big Bill O'Malley, could he? Yes. Do I think he will? No. It's tough. It's a tough task. I don't know if we'll ever see someone accomplish what Bud Crawford did. And then jumping up 2 divisions to fight an undisputed champion. That's crazy. Mr. Phipps, careers are based off of opportunities given. Double AD, I love and respect Xander. But let's not forget that Bollywood Berlanga was calling for Canelo, and how did that work out? I do agree that a W skyrockets him and an L doesn't really hurt him. And I got to say this. It's the way you lose. Sometimes we forget about that. It's not the same thing getting washed than losing in a competitive fight. I'll give you an example. Look at the way Keith Thurman lost to Fundora versus the way Sam Noakes lost to Abdullah Mason. Keith Thurman, his stocks plummeted after taking a beating of a lifetime. Sam Noakes, his stocks still went up after that L because of the way that he performed. So Xander Zayas can lose and look good and give Boost the toughest fight of his career, and his stocks will still go up after this fight. We just have to see how it plays out. Now, Boost says something that really caught my attention. He said, this fight is going to play out the way I want it to go. I'm going to have my way with him. So Boo's got some intentions, man, that we have to see it. Double AD. No, Mr. Phipps, those be ducking. That's why some of these fights are not being made. That's facts. That's facts. Mr. KO, Boo's had the better push than Crawford, but can't fill those shoes, in my opinion. Don't Eddie Hearn have Boo's name everywhere. I mean, they giving Boo's a great push. But that's doing their job. They're promoting their guy, right? And Boo's has the talent to be one of the best in the game and an all-time great. He has that type of talent. Side, Bo was blackballed too. Yeah, we could say that. In the welterweight division, it's like he was blackballed. The letter M. Don't ever mention Berlanga and Zayas in the same conversation. Levels. I'm going to tell you something funny, though. And I want you to think about this. About 5 years ago, Edgar Berlanga and Xander Zayas, they was right there. They was right there together. If anything, Berlanga was a little bit more advanced than Zayas. Both of them coming up together. But it seems like Berlanga at some point just stood there. And you saw Zayas progressing and getting better after every fight. And now look, Xander Zayas is a two-division champion. I mean, a two-belt champion. Or unified champ. While Edgar Berlanga, his two opportunities for a title, he got beat easily. Last title shot, he got pummeled, battered, cooked. And now we're hearing that Edgar Berlanga is going to Zuffa boxing. So look how different their careers have been playing out. Mr. KO, but Crawford was blackballed, as I said. Boots is not filling them shoes. Crawford KO everybody at 147. Everybody. That's facts. Everybody got beat up and stopped. Samuel, Boots is untested. He's athletic, fast, but we never seen his heart. I mean, Xander Zayas might test him. Duncan Carter, salute family, bam. Xander Zayas might test him. Mr. KO, Boots got that shine now. We want to see it. He's 28. Ain't no excuse after the Zayas fight. All he need is 4 or 5 big names on his resume. So he can't retire without hearing he never fought anybody. Oh, no, he's going to get those fights. He's going to get those fights. Xander Zayas is going to be the first big name in his resume. Let's see if he's going to win. Let's see, because everybody's counting Zayas out. You got to remember, Zayas is a natural 154-pounder. Boots is just moving up right now. But Boots a naturally big guy as well. It's not like he's a small dude. Side, no one survives 147, but everybody takes a beating. Mr. KO, Zayas might hurt your feelings. Be careful. I mean, I haven't made a prediction on this fight. I have a lot of respect for Xander Zayas. So I haven't made a prediction yet. I will soon. Jay is in there. I think the kid is good, but he's too young. Bush will take him. Duncan Carter. That's a shame, because Xander is only 23. At 23 years old, man, he's daring to be great. He's going for it. But that's why I said earlier, you got to give Xander his flowers, because Boo's not a mandatory. He don't got to fight Jerome Boots Ennis. If he wanted to, he could go cherry pick an easy voluntary defense. Yeah, he decided that he wants to fight Boots next. Put his titles on the line. We're gonna see. That's it. It's a done deal. Signed, sealed, and delivered. While Virgil Ortiz put himself on a shelf, collecting dust and spider webs. He cooked. Virgil Ortiz sues Oscar De La Hoya. You see it right there. Xander says, jump on it. I need this fight. Mr. KO, Crawford at 147. That's a scary sight. And look, man, I don't see people using this word to describe Terence Crawford, but I've been using it since the first time I saw him fight. Terence Crawford is a bully in the ring. All you have to do is watch his fights. He's a fucking bully. He's gonna bully you. He a mean ass mofo. Man, you're a bad guy. Outside the ring, he's a great guy. He's a great father. Good dude. Inside the ring, he a bad guy. He a bully. Look at his fights. Scott Miller. Boots fought more styles. Does Xander have anything that Boots actually hasn't seen? I'm not going to say that he has anything specific that Boots hasn't seen, but he's an elite level fighter, and I would say that Xander's better than everybody Boots faced. Everybody Boots faced, Xander Zayas beat him up. Beat him up. Aroma sound. Whether he wins or loses, he will have a bigger name after the Boots fight. But remember what I said earlier, we have to take into consideration how he loses. Because if he get washed, if he get pummeled, beat up, then you know what that's going to mean for the next day and going forward for a while. Oh, he got exposed, he a hype job, blah, 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 all of that stuff. But if he loses in competitive fashion, which I think that's how it plays out, if he fights and loses, then I think it does happen in competitive fashion. So his stock is still going to go up. Duncan Carter, we can't throw Xander away if he loses. I think he's a really good fighter. I agree with you 100%. And earlier I said, Xander Zayas is fighting Boots at a perfect time, because if he loses at 23 years old, he could go to 160, win a title, now become a 2-division champion, and he can go on a run just like Canelo Alvarez. Remember, Canelo lost to Floyd at 23 and went on a Hall of Fame run. Xander Zayas could do exactly the same thing. And he has the skills, the talent, the youth, the athleticism to do it. So he could win and still move on to have a great career, which he's already having. Duncan Carter, I like his mean streak. Pause the track. Who do you got, Jay? What's up? So for this fight, I haven't made a prediction yet, my brother. As we get closer to it, but I'm not ready to make it just yet. Mr. KO, Xander, whole style, it's off. I can't favor him forward anyone style-wise. Toward anyone style-wise. Look, man, I'm telling you, Xander, he nice with it. He nice with it. From the technical aspect, his IQ, he's skilled. Sky Miller, Xander still gets my respect either way. Like Spence taking an L to Crawford. So, Xander, his decision to fight Boots is better than Errol's. And I'm going to tell you why. In a way, Errol's back was against the wall when he fought Crawford. Remember, he already had 3 belts and Crawford had that WBO strap. So the only way that Errol could have become undisputed was by fighting Bud Crawford. That was the only way. That was the only option. Or you could vacate all them titles and move up to 154, and you would have came across as a dunk. So you had to fight Bud. In the case of Xander Zayas, Boots don't even got a title at 154. You don't got to fight him. Not only does Boot not have a title at 154, he's not his mandatory. So Errol had to fight Bud. Xander don't got to fight Boots. That make it even more gangster that he's choosing to. He's like, yeah, let's do it. Pasa track, bro kind of looks like Rico Suave. Mr. KO, Gerardo. That's his name. Mr. KO. I wonder if Boots still have trouble with cutting the ring off. But I see Zayas bringing the fight to Boots. Zayas will blossom well after this. I said Xander's style is one of one. I'm going to say this. Xander's the type of fighter who's going to stand there with you and bang. And he also knows how to use his footwork. He knows how to use his movement and his angles. Boots, you guys know the elite level footwork he got going on. So you have to understand, Jerome Boots Ennis already made a statement that he's going to have his way with Xander Zayas. He says it's going to go the way I want it to go. I'm going to have my way. So Boots already got his own intentions of how this fight is going to play out. Side, Errol prolonged the inevitable. Bo was Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet at 147. Yo, Crawford was that guy. Pasa Trap, Rico Suave. Whoa, Duncan Carter with the super chat vibes. Salute, my brother. I appreciate it. This never been about the money. It's about the love of the sweet science. When you drop in on the super chat like that, you say you appreciate what I'm doing out here, my brother. Salute. Bam, Duncan Carter, what you got for me? Just a little thank you for your work, Jay Smith. Salute, my brother. I appreciate you. Mr. KO, it was strap season all 2023 for Errol before he lost to Crawford. Everybody remember the t-shirts with the shark knocking at Bud's door. Aged terribly. You know, I saw somebody throwing one of them t-shirts in the garbage. They posted a video like, man, I paid like $80 for that shit. Like, yo, they jerked me, man. I paid $80 for this bullshit. Listen, Errol Spence got over with them shark t-shirts. Got over. They saw a lot of them shits. And, yo, people said, like, why you going to wear that shirt now? Looking goofy as hell. Pasa Track, you remember them dumbass commercials, Jay? The Rico Suave commercials? Or he was a singer or something. Nah, he was a singer. Gerardo. He was a singer. That song was a hit. That song was a hit, bro. Mr. KO. Bet that shark won't knock again. Damn, man. And then Terrence Crawford shows up with that fisherman outfit. That was iconic, bro. Iconic. Trent Thomas. Bam, salute, family. Duncan Carter. I'm used to talk to text. Sorry about the name. No problem, my G. Side. That shark got harpooned by Aquabud. The letter M. The big fish became a fish sandwich. A goldfish. Side. Errol last leg before the Undertaker came to take him to the morgue. Sky Miller is the creativity aspect for me. Boots can do things that shouldn't logically be done. I told people before, man, Jerome Boots Ennis can turn into the Matrix out there. I've seen him turn into the Matrix where it's like he's unhittable. So, and I said this before, and we have to appreciate this as fans. Jerome Boots Ennis fights in a way that he wants to entertain the fans. If he wanted to, he could use that footwork, move around, dance around, and make it look easy. But it could be a boring fight. It's not going to be as entertaining. So he sit there and he does a lot of these exciting things because he's trying to entertain the fans. He's trying to become a superstar. And that's how you do it. That's what he's doing. Side, with an even big fish get caught on the back. Pasta track. Oh yeah, I remember the video. Leather jacket with no shirt. There you have it with the long hair and the little rag in the hair and all of that. Mr. Phipps, that shark ain't got fins. So, I'm going to tell you guys this, man. Watching Errol Spence taking the beating of a lifetime was crazy. Mr. KO, Roy Villa entered the Matrix, man. That was crazy. And Royman can fight, but both turned into Neo that night. So my people's watching Errol Spence taking the beating of a lifetime was crazy. Because you have to understand, we seeing a lot of people get beat up. That happens in boxing. But a 3-belt unified champion pound for pound fighter take the beating of a lifetime like that? Nah, bro. Nah, that's just not something you used to see. The letter M, fish fried. Yo, Terrence Crawford showed up when so many people were saying that he was too small, that Spence was too strong, that Crawford wasn't going to be able to keep him off of him. Y'all remember all of that. And I told you guys. I was like, listen, Terrence Crawford is going to stop Errol Spence. He's going to beat him by stoppage. The 8th round. I did a lot of videos about it. Sometimes I would say Crawford is going to stop him in the 8th. Sometimes I would say Crawford is going to stop him in the 9th. But I would say Crawford going to stop him. People used to tell me, you don't even believe that, Jay. Crawford's not going to stop Errol. Errol's going to stop him. So how that played out. Mr. Phipps, who are you picking this weekend? Pasta track. You guys with oil out there, Jay. I hope so, brother. With oil out there, if you're talking about oil, we got oil. We good. So this weekend, my peoples, y'all know Deontay Wilder and Wilder-Chisora are going to mix it up. I got Chisora winning this fight. Yes, sir. Wilder, he's 41 years old. He's been in a lot of wars. I think this man right here walks out of there with the dub. Ow. Errol looked really slow against Bud. Mr. KO, facts. J. Smith, been team Bud. No need to fact check. And I want to say this, Al. Every time a fighter gets beat up, they never look good. So fans start a narrative like, oh, he didn't look the same. Something must have been wrong. Something. And the reality is that if you're getting beat up, you're not going to look the same because we're not used to watching you get beat up. Errol Spence was undefeated. When you're doing the beating, you look good. It's different when you're getting pummeled. And that's what we watched. Mr. KO, we heard all the excuses. Team Bud. We heard all the excuses. Oh, Errol Spence is not the same because of the car. It's like, wait a minute, golly. The car accident went away so he could beat world champion Danny Garcia, where he was a former world champion at the time. The accident went away so he could be reigning world champion Ugas. But the accident came back so he could fight Bud Crawford years after the accident. I don't know how that played out, how that happened. But ultimately, the same people who said that Errol Spence was going to pummel Crawford brought up the accident and brought up all the excuses that they could. Errol wasn't the same. Errol, you know, that day he smoked some weed, but it turned out to be trash, and they couldn't really get the good smoke before the fight, so he went in the ring. He still had that monkey because he didn't smoke, and his dog ate his training documents. I don't know how many excuses, man, y'all came up with. Too many for me to remember. Mr. KO facts. Side, that punk Garcia better keep Bud's name out his mouth. Yeah, man, Ryan Garcia been going at Crawford. Damn. Ryan Garcia been going at him, but he be contradicting himself. Because one day he's saying, look, Boots, he not that talented. He's the biggest hype job right now. He didn't really do nothing. And the next day he's saying Boots is too talented for Crawford. So Ryan Garcia is not really consistent with the shit he be saying sometimes. Pasta track. It depends on the beating. Look at Mike after Buster. That fight should have been stopped. By the way, the letter M. I hate boxing narratives. If you lose, Spence, Thurman, etc. That's right, man. Like, why it can't just be the better guy won and that's it? I don't want to hear all that other shit. All them narratives and them side stories and them conspiracies, skip it. The better guy won. Sorry, they blame it on the Reggie. Yeah, supposedly they didn't find the purple haze or whatever they was looking for. Ended up with some swag. And I don't know, I guess, after smoking that garbage, Spence wasn't the same. Mr. Phipps, Garcia is nuts. J. Jack, Spence needs to move forward. I don't see a contender he can defeat. I take him over Thurman, but not Teo. Hang it up. It looks like Errol Spence's comeback is the inevitable. We've seen images where he looks like he's in real good shape, real good physical shape. See him running. He was training with somebody. I forgot with who. But Errol Spence is coming back. That seems to be the inevitable at this point. Trent Thomas. Spence had beaten everyone else. Crawford was doing the same. Spence had the headlines, so everybody underestimated him. So when they clashed and Spence lost, everyone looked for excuses. The thing is that people spent the entire time of build up for this fight talking about what Errol was going to do to Crawford. You have to think about it. This fight started building up, brewing the moment Crawford won that title out in the welterweight division. The moment he beat Ricky Hatton, that's it. It went down. People started already talking about a possible showdown between Crawford and Errol. What did it take, 3 years? 4 years before the fight actually happened? All that time, imagine people saying Errol's going to knock him out. Errol's too strong. Crawford is ducking him. Crawford is scared of him. You remember all the narratives that was out there? That Crawford's the guy that doesn't want that smoke. My bad, Jeff Horn. As soon as Bub moved up to welterweight division and became a champion by beating Jeff Horn, you saw the narrative. He's scared. He not making money like that. He don't put butts in seats. All of that. And ultimately, when the fight happens and Crawford gave Errol the beating of a lifetime, people didn't want to accept it. They couldn't accept it. They couldn't see him as simply being the better fighter. So they had to reach for the excuses. Pasatrack, Spence got the shot at Crawford because he beat Ricky had. Jeff Horn, you mean? No, so you have to understand. When Crawford beat Jeff Horn, it was how many years? How many years was it for him to fight Errol? If y'all could check on the box, right? Because after he beat him and became a champion, it took years to actually get the fight with Errol Spence. And that whole time, PBC was doing the whole in-house thing. They were all fighting each other. The letter M. Bro, as I remember, people were putting Spence. People were saying that Errol Spence was going to knock him out. People were putting Spence over Crawford heavy. Then he got his ass beat. Then he wasn't the same fighter. Bullshit. About 5 years. You see, it took 5 years for Crawford to get that fight. And throughout that, imagine if you spend 5 years saying Errol Spence is going to knock him out. Crawford's not going to be able to hold him back. And then you have to watch Crawford give him the beating of a lifetime. You need excuses. There were some people who said, damn, I was wrong. I had people come on the show and tell me, yo, Jay, you know what? I was wrong. I was wrong about Terrence Crawford. He's the guy. That's it. I got to accept it. There were some people that finally, that's it. They couldn't handle it anymore. They couldn't bullshit no more about it. Pasatrack. He should have fought Spence 2 years after that win. Even before that, they could have unified. They could have unified early. But that's the way it played out. Ultimately, they had to see Crawford. And that's what makes Terrence Crawford's career so great, my peoples. And you have to understand, the whole time that he was waiting to fight Errol, after he got that WBO strap, he could have lost. He could have took an L. He could have lost to Kell Brook, could have lost to Amir Khan, could have simply had a bad night and lost to one of those guys. But he just kept winning and winning and winning. And when Errol had those 3 belts, that's it. He had no other choice but to go fight Bud Crawford. Sky Miller. Errol didn't need to get back into that fight. He definitely would be retired. Look, I thought that Errol Spence was going to retire already at this point because it had been over 2 years, 2.5 years since they fought. But now it looked like Errol's going to come back. Let's see. Let's see what he's going to do. Errol Spence is definitely coming back. That's what we're seeing. My peoples, Canelo Alvarez is with Picasso. You guys may recall Picasso's the fighter who lost to Naoya Inoue. He went the distance with the monster. Went the distance. Had a few good moments in that fight, but he lost almost every round. But, you know, he has such a good defense that Naoya Inoue couldn't stop him. He couldn't mount a consistent attack to get him out of there. And I told people, I said, this guy's going the distance. Y'all didn't want to believe me. I said, Picasso's going the distance when Naoya Inoue. He's not getting knocked out. And that's exactly the way it played out. Now, is Canelo Alvarez, because he's almost out. Canelo, I see him as having maybe 2-3 more fights left in his career. Maybe at most. So, is he going to be like Terrence Crawford, where we see Terrence Crawford retired, but he's working with fighters? We see him working with different fighters. Are we going to see the same thing from Canelo Alvarez? Is he going to retire and be involved with boxing the same way? And by the way, the only person to beat Mr. Picasso. Now, yeah, you know it, the monster. The monster is in training camp, my peoples, for his fight with Junto Nakatani. Side, remember they said Bud loaded his gloves? Man, they said everything. That's one of the excuses. Pasta track. Errol gonna be gun shy. We'll find out. Because we've seen that before. You know, sometimes a fighter takes a nasty beating, and then after that, you see the punch output just go down drastically in future fights. We're gonna see. We're gonna find out. Trent Thomas. It was the same situation with Hagler and Leonard, except Leonard won, but not easy, and Hagler retired after. But here, Bud won. And Hagler, man, he took forever to get that fight till the end of his career. Till the very end of his career. Sky Miller, that's why it was for the best. Now we get to see Errol again. Not if Bud did twice the damage the second time. And you know that rematch, there was a date for that rematch and everything. It was supposed to happen. In a way, I felt like they used that rematch clause to freeze Terrence Crawford out. Because he couldn't fight anyone else. So he was stuck under that rematch clause. And right before it expired, Errol was like, yeah, I'm not going to fight him. I'm not going to fight. Forget about it. So now Crawford can move on with his career and fight somebody else. But why not say that from the very beginning? And let him go fight elsewhere. Go fight somebody else. So they froze him out for a little while with that move. Mr. KO, Tim still letting his hands go after those two beatdowns against Fundora. And after taking that beating to Bakram Murtasaliev. He's still letting the hands fly. It's true. Not every fighter is going to become a guy. Sky Miller, Bud is like Batman. He studied and prepped for every situation. But he's a bully too, man. Crawford is a bully. That's how I describe him inside the ring. Outside the ring, a gentleman, a professional, great father, great guy. Inside the ring, Terrence Crawford is a bully, my people. Just watch his fights. Beat him up. Beat him up. That's what Terrence Crawford is out there for. Bully. Pasta track. But some guys take beatings personally and get better. That's a fact. But remember, it's one thing taking a beating, and it's another taking the beating of a lifetime. Sebastian Fundora beat Keith Thurman like that was his stepchild. Like, we got to see Terrence Crawford beat Errol Spence like that was the stepchild of the guy who's smashing his wife. Javier, you know it better not move up. He won't beat El Divino Espinoza. That fight. And you know what? The other day somebody was asking Espinoza about that fight. And he said, you know, obviously I'm not going to move down. And at some point I'm going to move up. But if he moves up, we're going to fight. I don't know. That's the thing. You know, and that's a good situation to be in. He could stick around because he can make weight and wait for Bam to move up and finally face him. Or he can end up moving up himself. He has options. Zach Gaines, what's up, bro, from Dallas, Texas? They should be calling you for TV broadcasting. Salute, family. I appreciate you, my brother. It's going to happen at some point. I'm waiting on my turn, family. I'm just waiting patiently. It's going to happen. Wait and see. Sky Miller, Bo was strategic at the start of that fight. Then once he saw all Errol had, Bo was like, that tail is mine. Yo, he gave Errol Spence the beating of a lifetime, my peoples. Beat him up. Beat him up. When's the last time that you watch a fight and you actually felt sorry for the guy? And you even feel sorry for the guy who you said was going to lose. Like I said, Crawford was going to win. But I was feeling sorry for Arrow. Like by the fourth round, seeing Arrowhead get punched around like that. I remember at one point I saw Crawford punching Arrow, and when they show the replay, you see the little afro moving like Crawford will punch him, poof, and you see like poof, 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 poof. Like, God damn, punching the shit out of him. I looked at my phone, Devin Haney tweeting, yo, Crawford beating the shit out Arrow. I was like, yeah, man, God, late. Beating of a lifetime. Javier, I felt sorry for Canelo. But Canelo, he didn't take the beating of a lifetime. He got outboxed. Bivol beat him up, though. Because Floyd Mayweather, he didn't really beat him up like that. He schooled him. Floyd Mayweather gave Canelo a schooling. But Bivol beat him up. Roughed him up. Had his face looking like a tomato. Pasta track. Haney manifested his own ass kicking. Oh, but wait a minute, because Devin Haney took a nasty beating, but we know the circumstances behind that beating. We know Ryan Garcia, the 3 pounds overweight, and he popped dirty. So we got to get that rematch and see how it really plays out. Ow. I feel like Bud could have stopped Canelo. You know, in round number 9, I felt that way too. I think he could have went for it, but you also have to consider the fact that Canelo Alvarez is still a great fighter, a dangerous fighter, and it just takes one punch for everything to change. So Crawford stuck with the game plan and did what he had to do to make sure that he walking out of there with that W. And that's what he did. Time 18, 188. Jay Smith and chat family. Morning blessings. Have a productive Wednesday today, my peoples. Salute, my brother. Bam. Mr. KO. Canelo was getting tagged though. In the end, it looked like Bud was getting tagged. It looked like Bud could have dropped Canelo for the first time in his career. But then, we would have got a different opinion on the bout. It's like I told you, man. You know, Crawford was at a point where he was teeing off on Canelo. He was on the zone. But Canelo's a dangerous fighter. He's still Canelo Alvarez. You could still make one bad mistake and it's all over. So he played it safe and did what he was supposed to do. Won the fight. Trent Thomas, Crawford figured out the puzzle and then solves them in devastating fashion. Because that's the thing, you know, we can't put too much weight on he didn't knock him out. And that goes for every and any fight. We can't put weight behind he didn't knock him out, or he could have, or he should have, because ultimately it's about wins and losses. You know, when we look back in history, into the history books, we just focus on who won, who beat who. Not about whether or not it went to decision. You know, it's a great detail to bring into the conversation if you won by knockout. But ultimately, it's all about wins and losses. Pasta track. I don't think Bud could have stopped Canelo. I think Bud should have tried for the glory. Honestly, in round number 9, when he started catching him with those shots, I felt like he could have stopped him. Like he would have jumped on him, but it's a risk. It's a risk. He could have jumped on him, got irresponsible with the defense, and he could have got stopped. He could have got caught with a nasty shot and blew, you know, a lead on the scorecards. Blew the fight. Time, 180, 188. I was in here telling y'all, Keith Thurman doesn't have anything left but his mouth. The brother is delusional, thinking that he could have won that fight if it kept going. Bro, I'm glad they stopped it. I seen boxing fans saying, oh, that fight should have kept going. They stopped it early. And I was like, bro, y'all want to see Keith getting killed out there. He was getting beat up. So, yes, he was delusional. Maybe he had a concussion, and for that reason, he felt like the fight was starting to get good, because that shit was definitely not getting good for him. For sure. Pass a track. As a boxer, you should let a guy off the hook like that. I mean, I don't think he let him off the hook. It's like I told you. You got a dangerous fighter in front of you, one of the best, a pound-for-pound fighter. You make a mistake, it's all over with. Now follow your game plan, secure that W. Because if you would have made a mistake and got knocked out, we would have all been singing a different tune about why you made a mistake. You was winning the fight. Shakur Hands, he beat him up. Scott Miller, he moved up a lot to make that fight. It was a major test. I mean, come on now, from 154 to 168, and it was only one fight at 154. And to perform like that, spectacular. Terrence Crawford put on a masterclass of historic proportions. We're going to be talking about that forever. Javier, what do you think of the Mayweather versus Pacquiao 2? Is Floyd going to finally get that loss? My guy, I don't even know if we're going to get that fight. If I'm being honest with you, I don't know that this fight is going to happen. Right now, you've probably seen the latest update. They're saying that Floyd Mayweather is breaching the contract because they agreed to a real fight. There's reports out there suggesting that Floyd Mayweather signed a contract, that they have a date, that they have a venue, and that it is a real fight. And Floyd Mayweather suggesting that it's supposed to be an exhibition. That would be him breaching the contract. So let's see how this all plays out. Samantha, can I follow you? Because my mom told me to follow my dreams. If you dream of boxing every day, it's your time to follow me. If you don't dream of boxing, then you might be bored over here. Scott Miller, time he was going to lose anyway. His successful moments happened way too late. He found a way to land, but he was already beat up. Time, 180, 188. Fundora will beat a hard puzzle for someone to solve with that long jab that he has. And he has power. But if you can get to him and get to that body, you'll be okay. But that's a tall puzzle to figure out. I got to tell you this, my guy. Fundora, the only way that you're going to be able to beat him is by getting in on the inside and applying pressure. You got to turn it into a firefight. It has to take place inside of a phone booth. Because of his long reach, he's almost impossible to counterpunch. At the end of that jab, he's impossible to counterpunch. You ain't doing nothing from the outside but getting beat up. He was jabbing the shit out of Keith Thurman, which I told people was going to happen. How do you counterpunch that jab, for example? You can't step back punch on him? How? If you step back, you're going to be on the other side of the ring. And his only loss, which was by stoppage, he was winning that fight, but his only loss, he was exchanging. He was exchanging a lot, and it was in the middle of trading leather, pop, 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 boom, that he ate a nasty shot, got hurt and got knocked out. That's the key right there. You have to apply pressure and make it a fight on the inside. From the outside, Sebastian Fundora is going to pick you apart. You getting beat up. And there ain't nothing you can do about it. Well, you saw what happened. Oh, I got a picture of Keith Thurman right here. You saw what happened to Keith Thurman. And then he's talking about the fight was starting to get good. How the hell the fight was starting to get good? You're over there taking the beating of a lifetime. So no, the fight was not getting good. Boxing track. Damn, Floyd got real money problems if he playing games like that. And what is being alleged by Manny Pacquiao's team is that Floyd Mayweather signed the contract, agreed to a date, a venue, a real fight, and took out an advance on his purse. But they already gave him a certain amount of money. If that is true, then we got a fight on our hands. Because Floyd Mayweather is going to be fighting Manny Pacquiao in a real fight, or he's going to be fighting Manny Pacquiao's team in court. Manny's not budging. He not trying to fight no exhibition. I already saw a post. They like, nah, we got a real fight. We agreed to a real fight. So we don't know if this thing is going to end up in a ring or in a courtroom. Mr. KO, Keith can't say he wasn't in the gym and ready for Fundora. But the activity at that level, Fundora took out a prime zoo, beat up Lubin. Fundora knows how to use all his size to win if he has to. Man, what a beating. Scott Miller, time y'all gotta step on a mofo foot. Boxing track. Damn, Floyd got real money problems. I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on with Floyd, man. Scott Miller, whoa. Not the Martin picture. Nah, that's Keith Thurman picture. Mr. KO, is the swelling going down? No Lubin, you still lumped up. Chazzy, when they supposed to fight? So Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao, that was supposed to happen, I think in June or July. But I don't know. It looked like it's not going to happen at all. The Hydro Grind, he was getting good. Good to go. I'm telling you, Keith Thurman talking about the fight was getting good. How? How exactly? He was concussed. That's the only explanation. Keith Thurman was dealing with a nasty concussion and he just didn't even have feelings. His feelings was gone. His body was numb. But he was out there getting beat up. But again, as far as this fight goes, my peoples, we don't know if it's happening. We simply don't know. I know we want it to happen. You guys want to see it. I want to see it. But we don't know. Sad. Keith wanted to die in there. And the fans will say that the fight should have kept going. They wanted to see Keith get killed. Like, come on, my peoples. If you're watching a guy taking the beating of a lifetime, it's time to stop it. That's it. You were good. You got it, champ. You showed up. You fought. You gave it your best. And then got dominated. Completely. Pass a track. You need an ego like that to fight, guys. You have to have total self-belief. I know Keith can believe in himself, but everybody else around him, they was not believing after that. When you getting dominated, it's time to not believe anymore. I don't believe you, Keith. I don't believe you. Scott Miller, I want to see Virgil get Kelly belt just to get a talk. Side, gotta save face in some way after talking all that shit. Yeah, that's what I think. I think Keith Thurman talked all that shit So he put himself in a situation where he can't just accept that he got beat up, and it's embarrassing. So he gotta like, oh man, it was getting good. 4 more minutes. How the fuck did you even come up with 4 minutes? The rounds is 3 minutes. Why 4 more minutes? A round in 1 minute and you was gonna get it working? Come on, man. Pasta track. I ain't saying he should have kept fighting. No, I agree. That fight needed to be stopped badly. The Hydro grind. It seems like Kelly ain't ready to fight no one. Turned down Zayas. Turned down Boots. Looking for easy fights. And he said something that made me believe he was doing that. He said that he wanted to first do a fight like in his city, his hometown, I'm not sure where, and then look at other options. So obviously he want to do a nice little voluntary defense, maybe get himself a little cherry pick. And after that, let's see if he'll do a unification. West does it. Keith has the gift of gap. It's the gift of speed that he lost. I didn't want to see Keith get knocked out. Look, man, Keith Thurman is lucky that they stopped the fight. If this fight would have continued, he may have ended up going to sleep brutally, in brutal fashion. I'm glad they stopped it. Pasta track. I need this round and 1 minute of the next round to win. I mean, how he come up with 4 minutes? 4 more minutes. And it could have been different. He was concussed. Concussed, I tell you. Scott, I think Fundora, Xander, and Boots beat Virgil. So you think Virgil's the weakest link? We're going to find out. You see? A lot of people saying Virgil's the weakest link in the division. Crap. He was also being disrespectful towards Parkman. Jay Peso, who unifies at 154. I mean, right now, Virgil's a unified champion. Look, the 154 division is only 3 champions. Virgil Ortiz, Xander Zayas, Josh Kelly, and Sebastian Fundora. That's it. I consider Sebastian Fundora the man at 154 until further notice. And I've been saying that. I've been consistent with that. Who can beat him? I think Boo's got a chance. I think Zayas got a chance. Got a chance doesn't mean I'm saying they can beat him. I'm saying they got a chance. It's a good fight. But we're going to get Zayas versus Boots. And then after that, let's see. It's only 3 champions in the division. Is somebody going to emerge as an undisputed champion? The Hydro grind, I think Virgil beats Fundora. He wants to smoke. Virgil, well, not Virgil. Virgil's on a shelf right now. He on the goofball shelf. Javier Xander is the weakest link. He had a plit. Pasta track, Virgil. DuckTales. West does it. I'ma need to see Charlos back in action. Bro, West does it. It bothers me. It hurts me to not see the Charlos fighting, bro. Because it's like, damn, yo, y'all still within your time frame, within your youth, that you can perform at the elite level, at the highest level. You're still within your prime. Yet you're not fighting. I want to see both the Charlos fighting, my peoples. I agree with you 100%, Wes does it. And every time the Charlos step in the ring, you know you're going to get that smoke. You know what type of action you're going to get. I don't know what's going on. Supposedly one of them was going to fight. I don't know why that fell through or what happened. But I hope that at some point in 2026, we could get Jermell and Jermall Charlo back in the ring. Mel didn't even lose his titles in the 154 division. He didn't even lose them. None of those champions beat him for those titles. And he was the undisputed champion. So I want to see them back in the ring. For sure. Mr. KO. Keith did counter Fundora, catching him with a left hook and also catching him with a right. But most of Keith's punches were too short. And he got caught at the end of Fundora's shots. But that's what I'm saying. He only countered them successfully when they were at a closer range. But most of the times when he tried to counter, he was punching nothing but air. Trent Thomas, Fundora has great defense. You have to get past that defense, attack the body without taking damage, which is hard to do. No, look, to beat Fundora, you're going to have to take some damage. You're going to have to. I mean, the only guy to beat him was getting pummeled. He was winning that fight. But it turned into a slugfest. It turned into a fight on the inside. And ultimately, Fundora ended up getting stopped. That's the type of fight. You're not going to beat Sebastian Fundora using your forward, fighting from the outside, trying to step in and out. You're not going to beat him like that. What Fundora did to Thurman, he's going to do to everybody who thinks that they're going to move around on the outside, use their footwork, make Fundora chase him around, and try to step in and out and keep it moving. You're not going to, because he's going to pick you apart from long range. He's a sniper. You out there with a stick, with a billy stick, facing a sniper who's sniping you from long range. Choop, choop, choop. And you're over here trying to counter with a little billy stick. It's not going to work out. It's not a fair fight. Sky Miller, right. But when we start to talk about star power, they still call Virgil the fight to have belt or not. So I'm going to tell you this right now. Jerome Boost Ennis upgraded from Virgil Ortiz. That was an upgrade. Because Virgil don't got a title. Virgil's never even fought for a title. And now Boost is going to be fighting to become a unified champion in the 154 division. So he upgraded. Big Billo, Jay Smith. Am I the only person who get what Thurman was saying at the post-fight conference? He was beat up but not hurt. And see Fundora opening up for KO shots, being he was going for the kill. So I don't agree with Thurman, and I'm gonna tell you why, Big Billo. If you tell me that Keith Thurman was even slightly competitive, then I tell you, okay, maybe Fundora could make a mistake and he's gonna catch him. But bro, Keith was out there getting beat up from the very beginning. The first punch or the first combination out of Fundora's hands was a 1-2 within the first 5 seconds of the first round that landed flush on Keith Thurman's dome piece. Boom! That set the stage for the whole fight. So what I want you to consider is that Keith Thurman as a fighter, and that ego, that pride, he's like, I want to keep going. I should have kept going, right? But he's not even considering the cumulative damage. Think about it. 5 rounds of getting punched in the head. And you're showing no signs of even being competitive. You're lunging in with punches that are catching nothing but air. At one point, you even jump up trying to punch him in the head. You're looking awkward out there. So with the level of domination that we're witnessing, Keith Thurman don't even stand a chance. If you let him go longer, we're going to end up taking him out in a stretcher. He's going to get pummeled worse. Because he just wasn't even competitive out there. If if he at least showed something that suggests he could come back, but for what? That shit looked like you had a grown man with a little kid. And you're going to have expectations that that little kid is going to make a comeback on that grown man that's pummeling them and making them look easy. Keith didn't stand a chance. He's out there getting beat up. Big Billow. Jace, oh no. Pasatrack. What Charlo got spanked in his last outing? What Charlo got spanked in his last outing? Jermell. Jermell fought Canelo, if I'm not mistaken, and he hasn't fought since at 154. Oh no, wait a minute. Wait a minute. What happened with Jamal? Did Jamal win his last fight or did he lose? I can't remember because that was a while back. Time, 181.88. Jay Smith, you could pass for Keith Thurman, brother. Y'all look like brothers in real time. Whoa. Jay one-time Smith? Jay Pesos. 154 is hot right now. 154 is on fire. 154 is on fire. Because you have to look at this. The champion, the unified champion, is going to be one of them too. Boots or Zayas, because this fight is going down. Signed, sealed, and delivered. But then you have Josh Kelly with another belt. Sebastian Fundora has the other one. You have Bakram Murtasaliev who's out there. And is definitely going to be pursuing the title. And you have some other big guns in the 154 division. It's rough out there right now. If you want to become a champion at 154, it is rough. West does it. The only thing coming Thurman's way was the canvas. I'm telling you, Keith Thurman was receiving the beating of a lifetime. There was nothing about that fight to suggest that he was going to be able to turn it around. I didn't see it. Nebraska Rocks, salute family. Bam. From the main streets of North Omaha, Nebraska. Terrence Crawford's stomping. Mr. KO, lately these refs been bugging more than the judges. Thurman definitely had more to give, but the way he reacted after getting hit by Fundora wasn't a good sign. I mean, like I said, man, y'all will let a fighter get killed out there. Scott Miller, Lubin did okay on the outside, though. Once he got close, he got stopped. I mean, he did okay. But ultimately, how good did he really do? He got stopped brutally. Out. Height, reach, and he's extremely smart in real life. How do you beat Fundora? And he's getting better every day. I said it, to me, the key to beat Fundora is apply pressure. You're going to have to fight him from the inside. You're going to have to make him miss and make him pay. You have to break him down to the body. You're going to have to do all of it from the inside. And you're going to have to take some damage. You will have to absorb damage to beat Fundora. Big Bello, West does it. You once said the same thing about Corrales versus Castillo, Gotti versus Ward. It's plenty of examples. If the ref would have stopped it, Big Bello, there's a big problem with your example. And I'm going to show you what's the big problem and what makes it a real bad example. Corrales versus Castillo, that was a super competitive fight. Gotti versus Ward, super competitive fight. That's why I told you earlier. Keith wasn't competitive, bro. He was absolutely getting dominated in a one-sided fight. You can compare showdowns where these guys are going back and forth, where you really don't know who's going to win if it goes to the card, versus a pummeling session, my guy. Keith was getting pummeled out there. He never looked like he had a chance. With Corrales and Castillo, you just didn't know who was going to win that fight. So even when Corrales got hurt, the cards were close. Gotti versus Ward, the same thing. They kept hurting each other, but the cards were close. It was close fights. Why would you compare close fights versus a fight where a guy's out there getting pummeled, my G. Keith was getting beat up. Jay Peso, Keith only looked like that because he's light-skinned. Whoa, the light-skinned did him in. They was giving him the beating of a lifetime. And I'm going to prove it to you right now. The doctors went to talk to him after round number 5. The doctors. You guys are watching somebody get pummeled, and you don't want to accept it. He getting beat up by people. I can't believe it. And look, I know somebody who's a friend of mine on Facebook, who's a judge, a professional judge, by the way, and a judge for USA Boxing. And you know what she posted after round number 5? Yo, don't come out for this round. Stop the fight. Don't let them come out for a judge, my people. Okay, give me a second. I'll be right there. So I want you to think about that, my peoples. A professional judge posted on her social media, on her Facebook, yo, don't even come out. After round number 5, don't even come out after this round. That's it. And she posted that on Facebook, and like a minute after she posted that, the fight got stopped. A minute after she posted that. So we're looking at a guy who's not even being competitive, who's getting beat up. Yeah, start the fight, man. Why you gonna let him get beat up like that? Big Billo, Jay Smith, we 80s babies. And I've seen way worse beatdown. Just for the beatdown fighter to come out victorious. But Big Billo, what I'm trying to tell you, my G, is that it's different when you watching a beatdown, but this person is fighting back and landing his own big shots. You let him go because he's showing us that he got a chance to win the fight. Keith, we didn't see anything from Keith that suggests he could turn it around in his favor. We didn't see anything from Keith, my brother. He was getting dominated. If you're getting dominated, they're not going to let the fight continue, bro. They're not going to just let you get beat up. Out. Big Billo Mom, Castillo was beating the brakes of Corrales. Now Gotti versus Ward was close. No. Castillo hurt Corrales and started beating him after he hurt him. But it was a good fight. It was a competitive fight. Corrales was landing good shots on Castillo too throughout the fight. He was losing, but he was competitive. Keith Thurman, you can't compare that. To compare what was happening with Corrales versus what was happening with Keith, that's not a good comparison, bro. Keith was just a one-sided beatdown domination. Ow! Nothing worse than talking mad shit and getting beat up in front of a million people. And I think that's part of the reason why Keith reacted the way that he did. He talked so much shit about how he was going to knock Fundora out, cut down that tree. And then he goes in to get beat up. Pasta track. People want fighters fighting lions getting killed. Dang, yo. You don't have to. Because here's the thing. And I spoke to judges in the past about this and referees. They're looking at a lot of things that are happening in the fight and processing them. Keith Thurman getting punched in the head for 5 rounds and then getting dominated in round number 6. You don't need to let him keep getting beat up. We know how this thing plays out. We don't need to wait for him to be in a stretcher. We don't need for him to be, hurt badly. He getting beat up. And there's that cumulative damage. Beat up for 5 rounds and then whatever getting beat up. Time to look at that fight, my people. Wally Ahmad, what up? Boost fight that will announce him to the world. The stocks are going to skyrocket for whoever wins this fight. Simple as that. big fight, my peoples. Jerome Bruce Ennis versus Xander Zayas. It's gonna be a big fight. Wes Dustin, that man just talking to save face. It's what his pride makes him do. We all saw what we saw. Exactly, it's pride. You like 10 feet away, jumping in like that, throwing punches that, that are not landing. Did you guys see there were moments where Keith looked awkward, looked goofy as hell, punching at the air from long distance, even punching like that, like just hoping to hit something up there. He was getting embarrassed. And I understand it's embarrassing and it's hard to accept that you got beat up by the guy that you say you were going to stop and all of this stuff. But that's it. He got humbled. And he can't handle it. He couldn't handle it. But Sebastian Fundora gave Keith Thurman the beating of a lifetime. Like, look, this was him inside the ring. Inside the ring, because you got to remember, the swelling goes up. When your face swelled up, moments later, your face be really swole up. And that's what we saw with Keith Thurman in the press conference. Swole up. Talking about good though. What you mean the fight was getting good? Get the fuck out of here. That shit wasn't getting good. You was getting pummeled out there, bro. It had turned into a battering session already. Side, keep acting like we can't see. Positrack. When someone's overmatched, you stop the fight. No point to keep going. That's a good way to put it. He was overmatched. That's it. He was way overmatched. He already showed us that the height and reach advantage was something that he was not going to be able to overcome. That's it. He was not going to be able to. You got pummeled for 5 rounds. And you're getting beat up in round number 6. We got to have mercy on you. We're not going to let you get killed out here. Come on now. We're going to let him get murdered in front of our eyes? Assassinated? Wali Ama, I hope that this fight is so good that there's a demand for a rematch. It's been a long time since I've seen a trilogy. Hopefully, we get 3 fights out of these 2 guys. So, Xander Zayas and Jerome Bruce Ennis, honestly, I'm not sure that we get a rematch out of that fight. And I say that because with Xander only being 23 years old, if he loses to Boots, I could picture him moving on to 160, grabbing a title, and now he's a unified champion. I don't see him pursuing an immediate rematch to Boots. Instead, I see him trying to go to accomplish some more. Big Bello, let him get KO'd. It's boxing. It's all love. But remember, you don't play boxing, and it's a dangerous sport. Your life is on the line every time you enter the square circle. Big Bello, that's facts. Your life is on the line, but you don't have to let him get KO'd. That's the problem. You see, from the comfort of your home and watching on the phone or on TV, you can have that perspective. Let him get KO'd. But what if that's you? What if that's a family member? What if you got kids? Then your family members would not be saying, let him get KO'd. Your family members would be like, yeah, pull the plug on the fight. That's why fighters have to be protected from themselves. Because when you get KO'd, you just said right there the things that can happen. You're putting your life on the line. Putting your life on the line doesn't mean that the referee's out there to let you get killed, my brother. You know what the referee's there for? To control the action, to make sure things don't get out of order, you clinching or whatever it is, but also to protect the fighters. The main reason the referee's there for is to protect the fighters. That's what's supposed to happen. I had Hall of Fame ref Joe Cortez join me before, and he told me, like, yo, I'm not going to wait for a guy to get taken out in a stretcher. He got a wife, he got kids, he got a family. I want him to go back, walk, to his locker room and leave with his family or his friends or whoever he with under his own will. So, you know, from a fan point of view, you can say, let him get knocked out. But if you in the game, if you're the trainer, if you're the coach, if you're the ref, nah, you don't want to let him get knocked out. Hell no. Mr. Phipps swole up. I mean, you seen the face piece. You seen it. Keith Thurman's face was swole up. Scott Miller, Boo's gonna get the job done with Xander. Then go on to defeat Fundora. If Lubin was landing, Boo's can too. Just my opinion. I mean, listen. Styles make fights. Styles make fights. Jaron Boo's Ennis versus Sebastian Fundora is a heck of a fight. A lot of people are going to have Boo's winning that. But I'll say this. For right now, 154 belongs to Sebastian Fundora. He's the guy in the division. And I'm not saying that because he gave Keith Thurman the beating of a lifetime. I'm saying that because I've been saying it. Look at what he's been doing, what he's been accomplishing, the destructive fashion with which he has been operating. 154 belongs to Sebastian Fundora until further notice. That's the reality. Scott Miller, keep been begging to be knocked out for years. He got it. He got his wish came true. Big Bello, Big Bello with the super chat vibes. Salute, family. Appreciate you, brother. Big Bello, I disagree, but it's all love. Let him get knocked out, not killed. Bro, but if you get knocked out, you could get killed. That's the thing. We see people get knocked out and not wake up. We see people get knocked out, go to the hospital and not make it out that hospital. How many times have we seen referees waive a fight? A lot of times. Wes does it. Big Bello trying to catch a body. Sheesh. Trying to get people murked in the ring. Pass the track. I'm not down with trilogies. Usually, if they're evenly matched, it's the same fight 3 times in a row. Mr. Phipps, 100%. Wes doesn't. We love these fighters, man. We don't want everybody talking like James Toney. I'll be trying to tell you. You allow fighters to get knocked out, to get slapped, and it plays out in their personal life. And you see it in the future. It's like, damn, what happened? What happened is that you wanted them to get killed out there. That's what happened. Mr. Phipps, going out on a shield is overrated. We got a bad culture in boxing, bro. We got a bad culture. People get killed in boxing, and that bad culture is part of it. You know why? Because if you're fighting, and let's say you get caught with a shot, and 2-3 rounds later you're having a headache, you feel something is wrong with your head, as a fighter, you should be able to say, nah, I'm good. You should be able to just quit. Because something is wrong. That could save your life. But your instinct tell you that you got to keep fighting. Even though you don't feel right, you got to keep fighting. And that's why you need other people to save you. You need the ref to save you. You need your corner to save you. Because your instinct is just telling you keep fighting back, keep throwing punches. You don't even know that you got some damage that could take your life from you. And then we got the culture that if you quit, fans turn on you. Oh, you're a quitter. You're a quitter. But in reality, fighters should be able to pull the plug on a fight and still be respected. Because again, you putting your life on the line when you step in the ring. Your life is on the line, my peoples. Pass the track. Ray Robinson killed the guy in the ring. Called the priest the night before, and bro still died. Ray never slept right again. Yet fighters who've been involved in tragic fights like that, they struggle with knowing that somebody lost their life after they put hands on them. Wally, I'm okay, Jay. Which two fighters do you see, if they get together, could possibly give us a trilogy like Leonard Hearns? So, a good trilogy right now we could get from Shakur Stevenson and Tank Davis. We get a good trilogy. Now, we won't get a good trilogy, but we'll get a good 2-fight package out of that one. A trilogy, I mean, I can't push Shakur in no trilogy because nobody's going to beat him. And you're not just going to beat the same person 3 times in a row. I could put Devin in a trilogy with Ryan Garcia because they're about to have a rematch. If Devin wins the rematch, we might get a trilogy. We might get it. Because remember, Ryan gave Devin the beating of a lifetime. So if Devin wins, Ryan can say, okay, we tie one up. Let's get it. The hydrogrind, brain damage is a real thing. Gotta understand that, man. Brain damage is real. Boost 40 cal. Nobody beats Fundora. He's too tall, too big. And when he hydrates, he a big mofo. Scott Miller. Keith claim to fame is, I've never been stopped. I've never been knocked out. This youngin' damn near retired him. It was a good stoppage, my peoples. We have to accept it. It was a legitimate stoppage. Pasta track. Jared McLeland didn't get knocked out, but he had brain bleed. Well, he ain't the same no more. You see what I'm trying to tell you? You stop a fight like that to avoid somebody from becoming the next McLeland. That's right. The hydro grind. Do you see last week they ruled had his death related to CTE? He didn't want to unalive himself. Brain damage is serious. You got to respect it. That's why when a fight gets stopped, especially if you watching somebody get beat up, if they lumped up, you got to respect it. You know the damage that Keith was taking to the dome piece, to the wig piece, to the toupee? Come on, man. Wally Amount. Bad take about the trilogy because Pac-Man and Marquez fought 3 fights. And all 3 were good. No, they fought 4 fights, family. 4 fights. Pasta track. I heard Jared McLeland. Wait a minute. Or was it 5 fights? Marquez and Pac-Man fought like 4 or 5 times. It was a quintilogy. Pasta track. I heard Gerald might have gotten the brain bleed fighting the Hawk before what's his face. I've seen a video that they posted, the actual fight that they think where it happened because of how he was acting towards the end of the fight in his corner and everything. He was blinking. But you don't know when it happened. The point is that we're not animals. We're not savages. You can't allow people to just get beat up for the duration of a fight for entertainment purposes. Scott Miller, there's only one good trilogy. Canelo versus Triple G was not worth it. I mean, I think it was worth it. There was a lot of controversy. The first fight, people thought Triple G won. I felt Triple G won. The second fight, Canelo definitely won. So, people tuned in. It was a big fight. Scott Miller, who was the guy that fell out on the stool? I think that was Gerald McLeland, if I'm not mistaken. Pasta track. When did Ricky die? Ricky hadn't died last year. Maybe like 6 months ago, something like that. Boost 40 cal. Abdullah Mason is not ready for no Keyshawn Davis. Trust, even Bob Arum said it. Look, Abdullah Mason, he's only 21 years old. I don't see that there's a need for him to fight Keyshawn Davis anyways. Plus, he's fighting at 135. Keyshawn Davis at 140. In fact, I felt some kind of way. And you guys know I like Keyshawn Davis. He's one of my favorite fighters. But I felt some kind of way when it felt like he was almost trying to bully Abdullah Mason. I didn't like that. I was like, damn, yo, you at 140, he at 135. The young lion is only 21 years old. Why are you doing this? You know y'all not going to fight each other right now. And I think he lit a fire on Abdullah Mason. Because you guys know Abdullah's quiet. He don't like to talk a lot. He's not a big trash talker like that. I think Keyshawn Davis lit a fire. And he posted. He was like, I'm at 135. I'm going to do what I'm going to do at 135. But when I go to 140, I got you. You're going to be the first one. You're going to be my first fight at 140. So Abdullah Mason already got Keyshawn Davis on his site. And it's already going to be looking at him like, one day I'm going to get you. He actually said those words, I'm going to get you. Ow. The Floyd versus Gotti fight was bad. Gotti took a beating. Chico Corrales too, man. Rest in peace to both of them. Rest in peace to Arturo Gotti. Rest in peace to Diego Corrales. Yo, Diego Corrales took a beating to Floyd Mayweather too. Rose, Devin Haney is the face of boxing. Sky Miller, nah. This was a recent fight. Big Bello. How people say nobody beat Fundora, but he been KO'd by a tier 3 fighter. Yeah, but I guess you haven't seen Big Bello, the development in Sebastian Fundora. The guy who got knocked out, he's not the same fighter anymore. Stop using all stuff that happened before to refer to what you think is going to happen in the future. Because I'm going to refer you to the people that were saying, if Gamboa wobble Terrence Crawford, imagine what Canelo's going to do to him. That didn't really help, right? It didn't really help Canelo Alvarez what Gamboa did all those years ago. Or Errol Spence, they said it to Errol. If Gamboa wobble Crawford, imagine what Errol's going to do to him. Errol took the beating of a lifetime. It didn't help him. So what happened with Fundora in the previous fight, that's not going to help future opponents, my G. You can forget about that. Sebastian, in fact, if you've been watching Sebastian Fundora, I'm going to remind you, at that time, he was fighting guys inside of the phone booth. And we would even be asking, yo, why this guy is not using his reach? You got that low-ass reach, bro. Start using it. And he would be banging it out inside the phone booth with his opponents. That version of Sebastian Fundora is gone, bro. That's it. So the way that my people, we back in action. We back in action, my peoples. So I was responding to the comment about Abdullah Mason, in the gym, and they Muslims and how they act in the gym. He got to be confident in himself. I imagine him talking his talk. I didn't lose my service. I didn't know that I was out, my peoples. I didn't even know I was frozen. I was over here talking to myself and shit. But Abdullah Mason, he's a real humble guy. You don't see him talking all that trash on social media. And he's going to be targeting Keyshawn Davis when the time is right. Pasa, try you back. Bro, I didn't even know I was gone. I was talking to myself, by myself. I didn't know I was frozen, my peoples. Shackle hands, yes, frozen icicles. But we back in the building. And really, I was about to say peace out, y'all. And the shit started playing games. I want to give a shout out to everybody who tuned in to this episode of Boxing for Breakfast. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This is for you guys. Salute to everybody, man. Wally Ahmad, Shackle Hands, Pasa Track, JJ's at their house, Mr. Phipps, Bulls 40 Cal, Sky Miller, Big Bello Mob, Rose, The Hydra Grind, Trent Thomas, and everybody else who tuned in, my peoples. Y'all know how we get down. This is another episode of Boxing for Breakfast. One love. And yo, remember, tomorrow we're going to be on it, 6:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And by the way, don't forget to subscribe to Box Center 2.0, my peoples. I'm dropping exclusive videos on Box Center 2.0. Subscribe. Don't miss out. And, oh yeah, I almost forgot to tell you. I've dropped a video today, my peoples. It's like a 5-6 minute video. And I'm talking about the whole situation with Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao. Are they going to fight for real? Is it going to be an exhibition fight? We don't know. So check out that video, which is up. It went up this morning. And let me know what you think. My people's one love, Toy Mafia. Salute, family. I'm going to see you guys tomorrow, man. Jay Smith in the building. I'm signing off. Peace.